Man, oh man, I think it starts and ends with that Bama UF game. I mean, boy, hey, listen, I'm a Florida grad, and I did not anticipate how hard that second half was going to be, and clawing and scratching that Florida did to put up 26 more points and to kind of stymie what Bama was trying to do. I mean, just your knee-jerk reaction. What were your thoughts now that we've had time to digest this game? What did you see from both sides?
Well, I think Max that Alabama is vulnerable, right? Right now, and I say vulnerable, I don't mean any disrespect to Florida. I'm not minimizing what Florida may or may not be capable of doing this year. I'm simply saying that because Alabama got out physicaled. Florida was more physical. They ran for 250 yards to Alabama's 91 or something like that. I mean, when was the last time something like that happened, especially in a game like this on the road where running the football was going to be of the utmost importance down the stretch. And so I just think the big takeaway was, wow, Alabama is vulnerable. Florida's better than I thought they were. And this is going to be an absolute dogfight. And it turned out to be just that. But we can get into Alabama and how the different ways that to me they're vulnerable. But I tell you, if you just look at that run, that rush yardage for each team, you can count the number of times on one hand, Max, how many times that has happened to Alabama. That's a statement that Florida made on both sides of the ball, by the way.
Yeah, no, I mean, because, we came into this game, right? Florida, is it going to be Anthony Richardson? Are we going to see him? We were so caught up that's the type of dynamic playmaker. And then Emory Jones just comes alive. He does what he needs to do, and he gives them a chance. He gave them an opportunity. Then on the opposite side, I mean, Bryce Young didn't play bad, not by any standards. I mean, he was very efficient, but he wasn't a game changer, right? I mean, he was 22 at 35. I mean, for a first-time starter in a away game in that environment, not bad. But the defense was the biggest surprise for me for Florida. And it was a tale of two defenses, right? Because the first half, boom, 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 like Alabama marched down the field. And you just saw this quick, like, oh, God, it's 21-3. This is about to be a mud stomp, right? And it's like they flipped the switch in that second half, and they got real stingy real quick and forced them to turn the ball over, forced them, as far as punting it and everything else. Yeah. And then the offense just started chewing up yardage, man. They look better than a John Deere with some long weeds. I mean, they were just mowing down that defensive line that we thought the defense was going to be one of the strengths, right? It was mature. They had another year under their belt. They had all the pieces in place, and they gave very little resistance in that second half. And so I'm just, I am surprised by it. Now I'm sure Alabama's like, it was just one game, and what happened? We still won it. We're still undefeated. Blah 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 blah. We're number one. But I think that really put the rest of the East on notice that Florida's not in a rebuild mode.
Yeah,
they've just reloaded. So, kind of your thoughts just about, how does that look in the Eastern landscape? What is everybody looking at right now and saying about this Florida game?
Well, I mean, they're looking at Florida through a different lens. That's for damn sure. I mean, they're looking at Florida like, I mean, there's no way not to. I don't care if you thought they were in rebuild mode or you thought they were going to be a good football team, but maybe not an SEC championship caliber football team. What you watched on Saturday night, if that didn't open your eyes, then I don't know what the hell you're looking at. I mean, look, here's the deal. And I've told you this before, Max. I always have been and always will be high on Dan Mullen. I've watched Dan Mullen do things, do more with less for a long period of time. I've seen him have a quarterback in Dak Prescott that he uses one way, he realizes it's not working, and literally at halftime comes out with a whole different game plan and a whole different approach, and has not only comes out with that approach, but has the guy ready and mature enough to flip the switch and go throw the football all over the park and try to win a ball game. And so this is just, for me, it's just another feather in the cap of Dan Mullen of no matter what restrictions he has, call it a rebuild if you want, call it the second, call it whatever you want. I will never count him out, especially when he's at a place like Florida, who always has the mature bodies, the physicality, the athletes. It's just a matter of getting them to play together. this is a feather in Dan Mullens' cap, because there's no way that I thought he would do this without Anthony Richardson, to be completely honest with you, number one. And number two, if you look at Emory Jones' numbers, 18 of 28 for 195 yards, right? I never would have thought that Florida would have been able to compete and possibly beat Alabama in the fourth quarter with a quarterback throwing for 195 yards. I just never – I didn't see it coming. So hats off to these guys. But like you said, that defense at Florida obviously is better. I tell you what it is. Max, who did I hear? One of Florida's guys early in the week said that they were the best defense in the country, and I know it raised some eyebrows around the country. Some guys said, "Whoa, wait a minute." Well, they didn't look too far from it, Big Max. I'm gonna tell you that.
Yeah, I don't know if it was Diabate or Cox or somebody like that said that. I can't remember who said it. But yeah, no, I mean, and then here's the other thing. Dan Mullen last year had an offense that was one of the top passing offenses in the country. This year, they have the number 2 rushing offense. You flip that switch that quick. And like you said, you alluded to it with Dak Prescott, like doing it within a game, right? Going from one approach to the next. But to then still statistically be that relevant in a different style, I mean, his ability to morph with what he has, and like you said, you do the most with the least amount, just continues to add to his creative mind. And the fact that, if you're a recruit, you're like, man, I could go to Florida and Dan will find a place for me.
That's right.
That's a big recruiting tool. And I think it also puts pressure on the Kentuckys of the world, right? Because I think that's the next step. Kentucky's trying to make that jump.
Yeah. And
they're going to have a good test as well against South Carolina. But if I'm Kentucky, I'm just like, I thought this was going to be a little bit easier, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And they struggle. They struggle with, who was that? Was it Tennessee Chattanooga?
There you go. I was trying. Yeah.
Tennessee Chattanooga, and they barely won that one. So now they're feeling a little some type of way after getting that Mizzou win. How big is this game about them going down to South Carolina and going there playing at night?
Well, before we get off that Florida topic, I tell you, Georgia's put on notice in the East. Georgia's put it, because that's a good that's a comparable defense, and I'll take Dan Mullen over any offensive play caller in damn near in all of college football right now. Dan Mullen as good as they come. So Georgia's on notice right there. That's what last Saturday meant in the East. I think that was your question before I got my long-winded ass ventured off into the damn weeds. Sorry about that, Max.